Hello YouTubers, how you doing? CJ here, I hope you're keeping well. Okay, I'm not going to talk for too long, but there is a few things I'd like to mention before I kickstart this video. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, you would have seen a post that I put on the community page here on my YouTube channel. It was a long post explaining how I feel about videos being taken from my channel and re-uploaded onto another channel. Now, I know that happens on YouTube, and I know it also happens on Facebook. Now, I don't mind, to be quite honest with you, because it happens. None of us can do anything about it. What I don't like is when I've spent hours working on editing a video and uploading that, and then that being taken and used by another person, and that person taking all the credit for it. Whether it's been released or whether it's not been released, the fact is that if you've done any editing and you've spent ages working on that, you don't expect that to happen. At least, the person could have asked if it was okay to use that video. Then I would have been okay. Fair enough. You've had the decency to ask, and, I appreciate it. And I would have said yes. But, some people just think they can do what they want to do, and that's very disrespectful. I spoke out about that, and the person clearly didn't like it, and a few people, jumped on me and attacked me by saying, after what you accused this person to do, we're not going to watch your channel, and blah, 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 blah. That's fine. It's no skin off my nose. At the end of the day, I'm honest, I'm loyal, and I'm very upfront, and I'm very blunt. So that's just the way that I am, and I always think that's the best way to be. At least then we all know where we stand. Okay, so now that's out of the way, I also want to get to the other part of the post that I put about stating how I'm doing this channel from now on. I started this channel to showcase my Elvis collection after being inspired by so many other Elvis collectors who I can't thank enough for, because they have inspired me in many different ways, and they are all absolutely fantastic. So to all of you, there's too many to list, so I'm not going to mention anyone's channel, but they know who they are. I've mentioned them in previous videos, so if you take a look back at my previous videos, you'll hear me name some. So okay, let's get on to this video. This video is, I still don't know what to title it yet. My Elvis vinyl collection from here on in. My new Elvis vinyl collection? I don't know. I'll name it something. I'll put a title on it. Basically, in my last video that I did showing you my vinyl, it was basically an updated video to what I showed you a couple of years ago. Now this one's a more updated video because in that last video showing you my vinyl collection, I did state at the end that I'd made the decision to go on a bit of a task, a bit of a journey. I don't want to keep going over it because I've said it many times in my previous videos, and I know that I repeat a lot, and I'm sorry about that, but it's the only way that I can get it out of my system and get it across. With my collection being destroyed, I wanted to, I know flat out, and this is the last time I'm going to mention it all, right? I know I'll never get back what I had. So that's gone. Can't do anything about it. I never thought I'd be able to collect vinyl again, I'll be honest with you, because it was so hard. My collection meant a lot to me. It was sentimental. So what was the way forward? Now, I've got to give somebody a big thank you. Two people, in fact. One, my wife, because when we met, if you'd seen my video showing my Elvis CD collection, which was the first videos I did, I explained how she started me back, or helped me start back collecting again by collecting some of the rare Elvis compact CDs from different countries around the world, because they're not available here in the UK. And they're quite expensive too. I mean, you could pay like £60 for one CD, and getting all these imports, it's crazy. So, where did vinyl come in? Well, a real good friend of mine who's no longer a friend. He's my brother. And I love him to bits, I really do. His name is Rossi. He had a channel on YouTube called Rossi73, or Rossi1973. And at every one of his videos that he would put up, it said his name. His YouTube channel name. I've mentioned Rossi in my previous videos, especially when I showed the guitar that he got done for me, which I'm still overwhelmed about. He sent me a batch of records before to basically get me started collecting again, as I explained in my previous video showing my vinyl collection. And from there, I guess I had them for quite a few years, and yes, I played them and I loved them and I enjoyed them, but it was still hard sometimes to sort of look at some of them because he did send me some first pressings, and I just didn't know how I was going to do it. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, you know what, I can either let this all affect me or I can do something about it. So I thought to myself, nah, let's do something about it. So my new mission, and again, I got to thank Rossi again in a minute, I have now started collecting all the official, original UK first pressings. And I'm using a website, thanks to information, because a few people said to me about buying this book. And I thought, well, the book's not going to really be no use to me after I finish collecting. I mean, maybe I could resell the book, but still, the money I would spend on buying the book could be spent on buying vinyls. Get what I mean? So, there was a website I found specially for the UK official first pressings. And on this website, it shows all the covers, fronts and backs. It shows if like the front was laminated or if the whole cover was laminated. It shows what the label on the actual record itself looks like. And it gives you all the variations as well, like the first one, the second one, the third one. And I have learned so much over the past few weeks, this past month. I think I started collecting really at the beginning of February, I think it was, on the end of January. And I've really enjoyed learning a lot more about vinyl records and about how they're pressed and everything else. It really has jogged my memory very much so. So, because I know that I'll never get back what I originally had and what I lost. So, what I've decided to do is stick with the essential albums. Compilations, budget releases like the Camden albums and so forth, they're pretty easy to get hold of now as well. But for me, and I've collected them the best way that I can, and I have been getting them as cheap as I can as well. I'm not bothered about them being in mint condition. I'm just grateful to have them. As long as I can play them and listen to them and enjoy them, that's what it's all about for me. I'm not going to resell my collection. It'll probably get handed down to my kids at some point when I'm, and you know, they can do what they want with it. But I've got a list here of all the UK official albums, how they got released, and it's in the order they got released as well. And what I've been doing is whenever I've got one, I've crossed them out. Now this last page here is for the 70s, and as you can see, it's pretty much all crossed out apart from two. Those two are Raised on Rock and Having Fun with Elvis on Stage. Now, Raised on Rock will soon be crossed out. That's all I'm going to say, and I will do another video on vinyls after this video as I get them in. So, the 50s ain't looking too bad. And the 60s section is looking pretty cool. Now, I've been pretty lucky with how I've done this. And now I'm going to come back to thanking my brother Rossi. He has helped me out on my, not only on everything else he's helped me out with, but with my quest of replacing the vinyl, or the essential albums then, should we say. And I just truly can't thank him enough. The first 2 albums of Elvis on the HMV label, he helped me out with in a big way. I am not going to go into full detail because, well, that stays between me and Rossi. But let's just say I feel truly grateful to Rossi, because I wouldn't have been able to really get these particular albums without his help. It would have taken me a long time, and probably would have cost a lot more expensive. He's also sent me a package, and inside that package included 2 particular items that are very special, and I just can't believe, because even though I'm collecting the official UK first pressings, there are a few exceptions along the way, which I will come to as we go along. So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so now I'm going to take, now I've got all of these plastic sleeves, alright? I was going to get a double gatefold plastic sleeves and get thick card, the thick cards sleeves that people put the records in, and put that in one side showing the vinyl, and then the other side showing the cover. So you can open it up and show the record and the cover back and front at the same time. But when I looked how much they were, with how much I've got, it's just not, it's not worth it. So I'm going to take these out as I go along, and I'll keep them out of here and I'll put them back in afterwards. Alright, so we're going to start with Elvis's very first album. Now, in the UK, this was released on the HMV label, because at the time RCA made a deal with Decca Records here in the UK, and got released on the His Master's Voice label. I'm sorry for any glare. I have got my spotlight on. I'm going to try and tilt it again. I can't do it. Right, so I am sorry. I'm going to try and show these in the best way that I can. Now, as you can see, yes, it is a little bit beat up, and yes, it did cost quite a bit of money. But like I said, the record itself is in top tip condition, and I can play it, and I have played it, and I've enjoyed it. Now, I'm going to show you this as well. What I like about this is the fact it's come with the original paper sleeve that it got released in. Again though, a bit of the fact that the colours are like worn and torn a little bit, it gives it a bit of nostalgia. It gives the albums a little bit of a story as well, to show that they've been loved and they've been cared for. And, you know, and I know that may sound odd. How can you say they've been loved when they've been damaged? What I mean is, it just, they haven't just been bought and sat on the shelf, you know. Here's the vinyl. Lovely condition. And I really enjoyed playing it. Now, one thing I can say that's quite unique about the UK version of Elvis's first debut album is the track listings is different on the UK than the US. Now, the standard version that we all know of this album today, that you buy today then, should I say, on CD, and the reissues of it on vinyl and everything else, is that it's the same track listing as the US when it first got released over there. But over here, when it first got released, this particular version has got a different track listing. Now I am going, after I finish collecting everything I need to get for the UK, I am going to see if I can get a cheap US copy of the album, or a reissue of the album, it doesn't matter, with the original track list on, just to have in the collection. But I'm not too bothered about that right now. Now, obviously, I got the standard album that we're all used to on the original CD. So this is the same as when it got released in America and everywhere else. Track listings are different. Obviously on here, track listings are different because you've got like when it got released in the UK, you've got stuff like That's Alright Mama. Lordy Miss Claudie. I believe Shake, Rattle and Roll was a different one as well. Oh, Mystery Train. Mystery Train is on the UK version. So it is different to the US, so it's always lovely to have. Now this did get reissued later on as Rock and Roll, because that is actually what it's called. It says in the back Rock and Roll. And it did get reissued with a yellow cover with a picture from Elvis in the 60 Comeback Special. So that's Elvis's first album. Now I'm gonna find a way to stack these up because of how I'm gonna re-put them back. I didn't think of this. See, I should have thought about it, so I'll put it by easy like that. Alright, so now we come to Elvis's second album. Again, when released over here in the UK, it was on the HMV label. Now, the track list for his second album, when released here in the UK, was the same as the US release. But what's so great about it is not only was this also on His Master's Voice label, it had a change of cover. And it was called Elvis Presley No. 2. In other words, Rock and Roll No. 2, which it states on the back. Now this was more expensive than the first one. And again, I just cannot thank Rossi enough for helping me out. I mean, I just have no words. And I can't wait to speak to you after you watch this video, brother. So that, and I think that's a pretty cool cover. Now a lot of people say that the shirt looks green, and it does look green when you look at it, but it's actually not. It's actually black. Elvis didn't have a green velvet shirt. There are many people I've seen on YouTube state about the picture of Elvis and the shirt looking green, and it does look green with the light, but I think that's all it is. Don't know what was in front of him when the picture was taken. I don't know what was reflected on him, but he never had a green velvet shirt, only a black, and he had a black one and a red one. So, and that's actually the Tupelo shirt that you win Tupelo, and the indication on that is the buttons. So there we go. For those who may have really generally believed that it was a green shirt, no, it's black. And again, the original paper sleeve and the album. Now, when released in the US, it did have a different cover, and when put out on CD, that's the UK cover on vinyl, and everywhere else on vinyl and CD, that's the cover that it had. That's the original CD release of it. So I do have that. Okay. Yeah, right. Now this one is Elvis, Lovin' You. Now this is the original 10-inch single. Again, this is one that Rossi sent me. I managed, and it does come with the original sleeve. Now, where possible, I have taken the sleeves out and I have put them in so I can just take the record out like that. I don't like it when they put it in the other way, but in some cases that's how it's happened. So that's 10-inch. That was how Lovin' You got released in the UK, and that was the first UK RCA release on the RCA label. There was also a 10-inch on the HMV label of the best of, and I don't have that, and I could have had that. I've had the option to have it, but like I said, I'm not really bothered about compilations. It's mainly the official albums that I'm getting the first pressings of. I know that the best of 10-inch have been reissued on RCA, and I also know it was put out as a bootleg on HMV as a 10-inch as well. So I may get one of them in the future, but at the moment I'm sticking with just the essential albums. So that's Loving You. Okay, so then we come then to the UK release of Elvis's Christmas album. And again, it comes with the original sleeve. RCA big silver dot there. And again, you can see all the tape and stuff going around the edges. I'll put some. Every now and then I've been taking these off very, very slowly. Like I'll do this one right now, very slowly, and I've been redoing it. I put like fresh tape on it, but I've done it better without taking any of the actual part of the cover off, basically. And I've been redoing it because, like I said, I'm not gonna resell them. They're gonna be in my collection, and as long as I can play them and enjoy them, that's the main thing for me. So what I didn't get though about some of them had tape on them. Like this one had tape all down here, but when it was taken off, it didn't need the tape. So why put the tape on it in the first place if it didn't actually need it? I mean, it's stupid and pathetic. Sorry, pathetic's a big word to use. I don't really mean that. It's just silly. I mean, to put tape on something that doesn't need it. So anyway, that's Elvis's Christmas album. That's the UK version. It did get reissued later without these pictures on, but that's the original UK first pressing. Okay, now the US release, when it first got released in the States, it had a different cover again, and I do have that release. I know that this is very rare to get hold of. It can be very expensive. I have seen these go for £500 up to £1,000. It's hard to get one in good condition. And when Rossi sent me the package this past week, he said to me that he was sending it to me, and I just couldn't get over it. This is the American original first pressing of Elvis's Christmas album. And the good thing about it is very rare you'll find one where you can read the spine, but you can read that pretty nicely there. And now, even though you may have seen this on eBay and so forth, and the reissues with barcodes on and the tracks on and so forth, because they did do it, and they have reissued this a few times as well. Over here in the UK is like, yeah, I think there's one on Friday Music, I think. I could be wrong, or it could be FTD or something like that. But I haven't got any of the reissues. And this came with the booklet. That's the inside. It comes with I don't want to ruin it, but basically it comes with a booklet basically, and obviously there's the back there, and then the vinyl. And I put this up on a Facebook group the other day, a collector's Facebook group, a picture of it, and they stated about how good the label is. Well, it's in pristine condition because my friend Rossi, whenever he has them, he keeps them in pristine condition. I'm sure a close up, I think. Oh, let's get that right. So I am truly, truly grateful, and I feel really honoured. Really, really cannot thank him enough. I truly have no words. I really don't. I'll be careful. Okay, so that's Elvis's Christmas album, US version. If you hear any squeaks or anything, what have you, I'm sitting on the one side of the sofa between two particular chairs, so if you hear any noises, that's what it is. If you hear any like little pedaling noises, like feet tapping or whatever, it's my bird. I'll have to show you the bird because I haven't shown you the bird in the other videos. Okay, now that the booklet that came with the Christmas album, we did get it here in the UK, but it came with the Golden Records, Volume 1. And I do have that. And this was on the Red Seal label. And this is actually a different variation. But even though it's a different variation, it's still a first pressing. That's the other thing. I've been finding out different information about the vinyls, and it's thanks to this website. I absolutely adore this website. On the Red Seal label. But yeah, Golden Records Volume 1. Now, I have all these in order, but like I said, there are still a few that I'm missing. Like, even though I've put the best of Elvis on here, it's not crossed out yet because I don't got it, because I haven't got it. But I'm not bothered about it at the moment. And at the very end, when I complete this, I'm not bothered if I don't have it. Like I said, I'm sticking with the essential albums, and it was just on here because I copied everything from this site and put everything in order that way. So the next one after that, after the Christmas album, should be King Creole. I do have the first pressing of King Creole on its way to me. It might turn up today. I don't know, but or is it being posted today? I'm not sure because I've got a few records actually on the way to me. Which what I'll do is when I get them, I'll make a little note, and when they're all back, and I'll go through my list and what have you. Excuse me. I will do another video, and it'll just be my new buys. Okay, so the next one then is a date. Oh yeah, and I don't have the Elvis album for LP fans only yet. But like I said, I've got a few on the way to me, so I'll update you as I go along. So the next one's crossed off on my list is A Date with Elvis. Again, this is another one that Rossi sent me. Great stuff. And then is a Golden Records Volume 2. And this has got a slight variation. I should have got my CD down with this so I could show you. That's the front cover. And some of you might be familiar with this because normally it says like 50 million Elvis fans can't be wrong, and then Elvis Golden Records Volume 2 in smaller letters. But that's the original first UK pressing. And like I said, where possible, I've put it so I can put the records out like this. that's because mainly I play them. The ones obviously I can't do that with is how they are, so I got no choice. And then is Elvis's back. Again, this is another one that Rossi sent me. And then we have GI Blues. Right, now this one, I can't take the record out, so I'm not going to take the vinyl out. I'm sorry. Anything like that, I'm not going to... I did it with the first albums because I wanted to show you the first albums, but that's the first pressing of GI Blues. Now this one, first pressing of the gospel album, His Hand in Mine. That one is here, we've got that. Like I said, not all of them are in mint condition. But the problem, not the problem, the thing is here, right, to me that's not a problem, because as long as I can play them, sometimes that little bit of crackling is, it's, I don't know, it's just a thing of beauty. And then we have the original pressing of Blue Hawaii. I was really confused with this one because of looking at the pictures that it's shown on the site. Now I do have another version of this, and it's slightly different with the font and stuff. I'm still looking more into it, but everywhere that I've gone to, and people that I've asked are telling me this is the first pressing. Both vinyls are the same. Even the cover variations are slightly different, but I've still got the other one in another pile of records, and the reason why I've kept it separate is just to be on the safe side. What I should really do is put them together. Like, I do have another few variations as we go along. Sorry, I think I'll add it back in, but as far as I'm concerned, that is the first pressing of Blue Hawaii. Okay, then another first pressing, we have Potluck. And this is another one that Rossi sent me. Again, the record is that way I can't take the record out. I've got to pull the actual sleeve out. I don't want to take too long, but that's the first pressing, and I absolutely love it. I love all of them. And then we have Golden Records Volume 3. The red dot. Now, this was the, because that's the other thing too, labels did change, and this was the first vinyl that came out with the red dot. This was the first time they started doing Elvis vinyls with the red dot in the middle instead of the silver dot. And what they did then is albums from there was put out with the red dot. They also reissued some of the later albums and some of the earlier albums also with the red dot. So that's the thing you got to be careful of. Everybody thinks that the red dot, all of them are the first pressings, but no, they're not. There are a few reissues on the red dot, so always best to get that checked out. And this website that I'm using, when I have finished collecting everything, I will do a video of everything completed, and I will put the link for this website at the bottom in the description. It's called Elvis Vinyl UK, something like that it is. And the person who's done it has followed up from a book. In fact, it's one of the books I was highly recommended to get hold of, because it is the best for UK albums. And I thought, again, I'm not going to spend 40-50 quid on a book when that 40-50 quid can be spent on records. There must be another way. And Rossi, he is a very, very serious big collector. I mean, he knows more than I do, and in fact I have learned so much from him. It's crazy, and I truly can't thank him enough for his help, because between him and this website, I just can't thank him enough. Also as well, there's been a few YouTube videos from other collectors that I've seen, and I've also learned a lot from as well. So this is Kissing Cousins. And then we have Roustabout. I'm going to spend ages later on putting them all back in. So Roustabout. I was wondering now what they were, but they're actually part of the cover. And then we have a Girl Happy. I can't take this one out because it's on the red label. So. And then we have, I had this one off my father-in-law. This is Elvis for Everyone. The US had a different cover to this, and again, I should have got my CD, because the CD version has the US cover. And also as well, the track listing is slightly different. I forgot all about this one actually. So Elvis for Everyone. It's the back. It's the vinyl. Now this is the one I've had originally, and well, not originally, but a replacement, you know. This is Harem Holiday. I paid 20 pence for this at a car boot sale. 20 pence. This is also known as Harem Scarum, but over here it was Harem Holiday. But obviously now when you buy it on DVD or whatever, it's Harem Scarum. 20 pence in a boot sale, and it plays lush. Car boot sale, garage sale, market, whichever. I know that they got different names all over the different parts of the world. So this is Paradise Hawaiian Style. This is another one from Rossi. Now we have California Holiday, aka Spin Out. Another one from Rossi. I'm not going to take it out because I put the cover, you know what I mean. If I've done it so I can take the records out directly, I'll show them you. And if not, I won't show them you. But I'm just letting you know that they're all the first UK pressings. I didn't really know how much this was worth until I was actually speaking with Rossi over the phone one day, and we were talking about the vinyls that I already had at the time, and this was when I first started sort of collecting them again, then should we say, or replacing, should we say, what I had that was destroyed. And basically, when I found this out, I was like, really? He said, yeah, if you've got one of them, you've got a good little collector's one on your hands there. So I immediately turned around and said, I do have it. This is Golden Records Volume 4. Red Dot. So, and then it moves on then to the 68 Comeback Special. Or should we just say Elvis? That's one of them covers where I can't take it out. But that's the original release there of Elvis. Okay, Elvis TV Special. That's what it says. It's known as the NBC TV Special, or more famous as the 68 Comeback Special. But yeah, the original title for it was just called Elvis. So there we go. Then we have another one. This is Camden release. I'll take it out. Right, here is Elvis Sings Flaming Star. Now, when this was released in the US, like a lot of the other albums as well, they came with like a bonus photo and stuff. Obviously, over here in the UK, that didn't happen. As I'm only collecting the UK versions, here we go. That's Elvis Sings Flaming Star. Now, this album, my mother had this album when she was young, and she handed it down to me. Obviously, sadly, I no longer have it because it was one of the ones I got destroyed. But this is the replacement, and it's they hold a lot of memories for me when looking, even though they're replacements basically. See, I'm doing it again. I'm going back over. I need to let all of that go. But I guess that'll happen over time. But looking at these covers, they hold a lot of precious memories for me. And yeah, so this one is from Elvis in Memphis. And then we have the double album. This is from Vegas, from Memphis to Vegas, and then from Vegas to Memphis. So this is like the first album here, Elvis in person at the International Hotel, Las Vegas, Nevada. But it's a double album. If you turn it, that says there from Memphis to Vegas. Now bear in mind the last album I showed you was from Elvis in Memphis. So this is from Memphis to Vegas, and the other album is Elvis back in Memphis. So at the top they put from Vegas to Memphis, which is pretty cool. So you open up, it's the double gatefold here with a track list, and it's on Elvis in person. Now when this got released in the US, it had two pictures with it. On there and then record. But this is the UK version, so it didn't come with the pictures. But Rossi, who sent me this, sorted out the pictures for me. So these are pretty cool. So. Cheers, bro. I believe there was another two that he put in with the other one. Yes, there is. Well, the two things I can't make those out. Right, so that's the double album there. That one came out after Elvis, from Elvis in Memphis, and then just the back in Memphis. Here's another one that Rossi sent me. This is Let's Be Friends. Green International with Camden in brackets as well. I can't put it in. What's going on? Oh, there we go. Let's be honest. I really love this cover, to be quite honest with you. It's always been a little bit of a favourite cover of mine. And then we have Elvis on stage. And then we have Elvis Sings Christmas Songs. Elvis's Christmas album. Now this is not a reissue of the 50s Elvis album. This is a different compilation put out of a Christmas album put together because they added, by request, Mama Like the Roses. So that's the original first edition. And like I said, I do have some other variations as well. Mainly because of, when I was a child, they do hold some memories for me. And I do like them in general. And at the end of the day, if I've been able to pick them up cheap enough, then I'd grab them. So it then got put out like this with a white cover. Oops. Elvis's Christmas album. That's in lovely condition, that is. Absolutely lovely condition. The blue label there. Some of the labels did change. So, what's that? And then we have Almost in Love. And again, this is another one of my favourite covers. No offence to the US cover, but I prefer the UK better. I just think it holds more much character. So, I can't take it out. Okay, so Almost in Love. Okay, so then we come to Elvis, That's the Way It Is. Great album. What am I doing? Right. Elvis, You'll Never Walk Alone. You'll Never Walk Alone. Again, see, there was sellotape or something put on there, and I had to take it off, but it's left this like mark type thing. And if I ever come across it again, cheap enough. Again, this is one of the ones, like I said, the compilation albums. If I can grab the UK first pressings, great. If not, but as to my knowledge, going to the website and the information, these are the first pressings, and I can't take it because I put the cake cover in the other way. So, You'll Never Walk Alone. I do also know that this was put out there with another front cover, which was, it's mainly known for Elvis for Everyone, but it got released with the same cover as that, with Elvis from the 6-Day Comeback, I believe the blue sort of denim, and he's looking up, and instead of the title being here, there's no title, there's nothing on the front, but it does say You'll Never Walk Alone on the back. So, but I got this version. And then we have, why I put it there for? Then we have another record that Rossi got me. And boy, did he get it. Ain't that right? I brought this up to him actually on the phone the other night because he was a bit of a tricky guy with this one, weren't you, brother? Love letters from Elvis. You know what I'm all about. You didn't have to do that, but thank you so much. I bet other people on yours think, well, what do you do? What do you do? Well, I'm not going to say, but he knows, and that's what matters. Love Letters from Elvis, a great album. A lot of people, right? There's a few 70s albums that a lot of people put down because of the recordings on it. Personally, the recordings on them. But personally, myself, I think the 70s albums are fantastic. I love every one of them. I can't fault any of them. And this album here, a lot of people put this album down. But yet, when the box sets got released a couple of years ago, the Back in Nashville and so forth, and Elvis in Nashville, with songs like Life, Only Believe, This Is Our Dance, everybody started raving about it. But then it's like, well, are you forgetting that they were on an original album? You know, you will never beat the original albums as they got released. And I think this is a brilliant album. So, Love Letters from Elvis. I mean, he re-recorded the song Love Letters as well for the album, which was pretty cool. Okay, so another, I like this cover as well. It says, "Come on, everybody." I can't take the record out. As I said, if I can take the record out, I'll take it out to show you. If not, then I can't. It'll take too long, and my videos are quite long as they are. Okay, so here's another one that Rossi sent me. This is The Wonderful World of Christmas. Elvis sings The Wonderful World of Christmas, should we say. Advertising some of the other albums there. Okay, and then we have I Got Lucky. And then we have the reissue, which I like this cover. Like I said, I kept some of these reissues because I like the covers. For me, what I've done with covers like this, I haven't glued them or put tape over them. A little tip is you can get thin, double-sided tape. And with covers like these, you see how these are pretty thick here? You've got the space to put thin, double-sided tape going down. And as you put it down, you close it tidy. And you put it down tidy as well. And you just squeeze them. And they won't come apart. It's better than using glue dots, because I know some people use glue dots, but then you've got to put them in certain places. Or some people use a thin layer of glue, but then sometimes it's got a habit of spilling and seeping through. So with the thin double-sided tape, you put it together and you won't notice. So this is I Got Lucky. This is the reissue. But I like the cover of it. I like the pink. I just think this gives it a little bit more character. So yeah. And then we have He Touched Me. Another album from Rossi. There's a few albums from Rossi I haven't even mentioned that they're from Rossi. I do apologise. UK first pressing. Great gospel album. Like I said, there are a few. Like I said, there are a few. There's quite a few that I haven't got, but I got a few on their way to me. Like I said, so. And now I come to right now. I've taken this out in another video to show you back in an earlier one, so I'm not going to take it out of here because it's in a special protective sleeve. This is the Japan version of Elvis as recorded at Madison Square Garden. This is a booty, this is, and I mean a booty, and these albums are very expensive. This was a gift, again, from Rossi that he sent me many years back now, so I just can't thank you enough for this, brother. Again, I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me. It's, you know, overwhelmed. And I can't wait to meet you, Rossi, in person this year. Really can't wait to meet you and give you a big brother bear hug. And then we have Elvis sings hits from his movies plus 2 recent hits. And then we have Burning Love and hits from his movies. It's actually hits from his movies volume 2, as that's volume 1. Again, I've got to put some tape on there. I've done it with a few of them, but I've got to get the tape again to do these ones. This is on Dynaflex. Okay, so RCA Division London, but Dynaflex isn't okay. The record, this is actually a US pressing in a UK sleeve. Now they did that quite a bit in the 70s, but again, for me, this is just another compilation album. It's not. It's a hard one, you know what I mean? It's an album, but it's not at the same time, if that makes sense. But I do have it in my collection. I mean, if I find one with a UK press without the Dynaflux on it, yeah, I'll pick it up. I have seen them, but I'm not going to cry about it if I don't find one. I'm just grateful as well to have them. So, Burning Love. Okay, these like albums, like Elvis, the 70s albums, the essential albums, non-compilation, they're all first UK pressings. Now, before I had a lot of the US ones, which I have sold, and with the money I have put towards buying new records. As you may tell from records I'm showing you in this video compared to what I did show you in the last video, there's quite a lot that I haven't showed you because I no longer have them. This is Aloha from Hawaii via satellite. Great album. Where is it? It does come with the sheet with the track listings on. Lovely condition there. And there's record 1. And then here's the other record. What I was just explaining about the Dynaflux, some of them got issued in UK sleeves, but they were the American presents. I'm going to come on, I'm going to show you a variation, which I've got. So I'm going to show you 2, and I'm coming up to it pretty quick, actually. In fact, after this one. This one is Separate Ways. Again, to me, these are just compilation albums. Which is why it doesn't bother me with Burning Love being a Dynaflex. Okay, now, I've recently learned this, and I was quite surprised, quite a little. Well, didn't really know what to feel really, because I'll talk to you here. This is Elvis. That's the original title. It's been known, and it's become known, they call it the Fool album, basically because it's a sticker, giving it its own title, but it says including the hit single Fool, and then the catalog number underneath. I'll stick it there. Now, when this got released, it was around that time they started having some issues in the pressing plant here in the UK. Now, this album, this is as you can see on the bottom here, it doesn't say Dynaflux or Dynaflex. Put that over here a second. And they were very rare to come across. They were hard to get hold of at the time, and collectors will look out for that version with the sticker on. But it's not all the time you'll get it with a sticker on with that record in it, because they had some issues at the pressing plant here in the UK because of a strike, and it ended up with coming out like this without the sticker. Same cover though, in London. But what they had an habit of doing was put in the US Dynaflux version inside. Or Dynaflex. Don't know why I say Dynaflux. Dynaflex. Or Dynaflex. However you want to pronounce it. Which was pressed in the... Now this one made in Canada. So this one was pressed in Canada. And obviously used the same album in this cover with the full album, and it doesn't say Dynaflux at all, but it's the original UK pressing. So there's a variation for you to look out for. Fortunately, all of my 70s albums are UK pressings. Now yesterday, even the last, the Dynaflux version, I think it's pretty cool to have one of each. The original, UK cover, UK pressing, and the UK cover with the Dynaflux Canada pressing. I think it's pretty cool to have both, variations, which I think is pretty cool. So I'll keep both of those. Now the album, if I'm correct, isn't it? Yeah, now the album I should be showing now is the album Raised on Rock. However, I don't have that. Now, apparently that is the hardest and the most rarest record. Yesterday, however, recently my microphone, my Shure microphone, went kaput. It went basically. And I had to replace it. However, the actual microphone itself, or what have you, is still working. It's just the receiver box is blown. However, I know a friend of mine who was interested in buying everything that I'd left in the other one, and thanks to a deal that I was able to do with him, it led me to have the money to purchase, because I found a fantastic copy of the UK Raised on Rock in the UK cover sleeve, as well with the UK pressing. So I will show that in another video when it comes, which will be hopefully next week. So I will be showing that along with some other vinyl that should be here by that time as well. I can get, I mean, you can get the German press in, you can get the French press in, you can get the US press in. They're pretty common to get, but I am so glad I was able to find a UK press in with the UK cover of Raised on Rock. So that'll be on his way to me. So I'm happy about that. All right. All the other albums, like I said, they are all UK press-ins. Okay, so the next one. Now this one I had the other day in a job lot. This is now, like I said, there are going to be a few exceptions along the way because I just think these are pretty cool. This next one is A Legendary Performer, Volume 1. Now this is a US press. I didn't pay much for this at all. Now this is the sleeve for it. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. So the cover is USA. The vinyl is an English press in. That's pretty cool. Alright, fair enough. It's the same track listing. Happy days. So that's that. Oh, it's got a sleeve inside the sleeve. That's pretty cool. But what's cool about these is they come with a book. So comes with a cool book. So I don't want to do this. Now I have seen some of these, and sometimes the sleeves have been ripped because for some reason I've got these little tear things here, which I don't know why. I mean, oh, it says Keeping Up with Elvis, and it's just the tour schedule, basically, tour list of dates. There, I'll put that back in there. So, A Legendary Performer, Volume 1. Happy days. See, some of these I'm actually looking at myself properly for the first time, which... Okay, so this is one that I did show you before that I had. This is Elvis, Good Times. You see, after the full album and Raised on Rock, things obviously returned to normal when it came to pressing them in the UK. Because Fool you can get. I mean, it's not impossible, and it's not exactly hard to get now. You do come across them. I've come across a few, to be quite honest with you. But of course, knowing that I already had a UK pressing, and obviously the Dynaflix, I didn't bother replacing it or anything like that. Yeah. Okay. So then we have Elvis recorded on stage in Memphis. This is a brilliant, brilliant cover. I love this. UK pressing. And then we have 40 Greatest. Can't take the albums out, sorry. Quick load here. And then we have, again, another one I've always had. This is Hits of the 70s. Oh, I've got to redo that. Okay, so I got 2 promised lands. The one I had last time, but this one here is the official first pressing. And this one here is a second pressing. Then we have easy come, easy go. That's the way I roll. And then we have US mail. Oh, sorry, the US mail. And this is what I had before. Again, somebody put tape on there. I took it off. Ooh, hang on. No, I can't do that. Otherwise, I'll take the font off as well. Oh, never mind. Really don't know why people do that. It's just silly. And then we have today. The number 2 is a bit thingy on the label. I haven't cleaned these yet. A little bit dusty, but starting today. No, that song is not on this album, but just that song came in my head. Elvis Today, brilliant album. Okay, and then we have Elvis the Sun collection. This is an original release there on the Starcall label. Now the one I had of this before, it was a reissue. RCA Starcall. Starting today. That song's in my head now. And then we have another one on the Starcall RCA label. This is Pictures of Elvis. Again, the version I had of this before was a reissue. Second pressing, I should we say. And then we have A Legendary Performer Volume 2. Now, again, this is a USA one, like the first one I showed you. Record manufacturer in UK. Sleeve and booklet printed in USA. Now, I'm sure I got a sticker on the back of that. I'll have to double check that, but that's what it says right there. That's quite interesting. Don't know how well you can see that there. That's interesting. It's normally the other way around, isn't it? Okay, but this one, there's the sleeve. Record. There's the booklet. Pretty cool, pretty cool. It's got me intrigued out of now. Boom! Okay, so I got another variation for you here. This is a first pressing of From Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. Now, it's a full studio album. Full studio album. Yet on the back, on the front, I mean, it says recorded live. But it's not a live album. It's a full studio album with all the songs recorded, as they say, in the Jungle Room. But the official name for the Jungle Room, because Elvis, all the boys, is Memphis Mafia and everything, they never really called it the Jungle Room. They called it the Den. That was the original name for it. But obviously it become known as the Jungle Room because of the furniture and so forth. So, and that's why it's famously known as today. So that's the first pressing of the first issue. It quickly got reissued without the recorded live on it. So there's another little variation for you here. Both UK. And again, I just think it's cool to have both variations of that. So, there we go. After I do this video, I'm going to have to listen now to that song. Oh, my knee. Okay, and then we have the Elvis Presley collection. This is volume 1. These are compilations, basically just like reissues, basically of a few of the Camden albums put together. I mean, record 1 here you've got You Never Walk Alone, and then the other one I think it's Elvis Sings It from his movies plus 2 recent hits. So that's that. I'm doing pretty good here. We're putting this in one pile. Okay, then you have Elvis in Demand. The hype sticker there. UK pressing. I mean, like I said, I know some of them do have some ring wear, but that, like I said before, that doesn't bother me in the slightest. I mean, that tells me it's, like I said, it's been well loved. I'm gonna start a new pile, but yeah. Okay, and then we have one called the Elvis Tapes. And then we got Welcome to My World. Again, another cool cover. Although the picture is like a picture from That's the Way It Is. This cover, the collar could be from Aloha or another suit, but combination of two. So yeah. Starting today. I hate that song. It's in my head now. Do you hate that when you've got a song stuck in your head all the time? Okay, so this is a UK Moody Blue. I had this one off my friend Dave Riley. Or Rockin' Dave Riley, as he's known, which, funny enough, is who I've done the deal with for the microphone. So, that's the UK pressing. Now, this is the... Remember at the beginning of the video I said that there were two particular records that Rossi sent me, which took me by surprise, and although I knew he was sending them, I just when they were in my hands, it was like, oh God, you know. The Christmas album was one, the US Christmas album. This was the second. This is a US version of Moody Blue. But what's special about this is that it's the blue vinyl version. This is not a repress, it's not a special edition or anything like that. This is an original 1977. That's what I don't get. I don't know if anyone's noticed this. I wonder, is this a misprint? Because this album wasn't put out until 77. I'm just going to check something a minute. No, it's all 77. Now, I wonder if anyone's picked up on this before. On my one here, it says published 1974. And then 1977 RCA Records. Now, I don't get the 74-bit because the album wasn't put out until 77, and the recordings wasn't done until oh, hang on a minute. He did maybe published in 74 stands for Let Me Be There, because Let Me Be There was done, even though Let Me Be There is on this album, it's the last song on side 1. That was actually put out in Memphis, on the Memphis album. Elvis is recorded live on stage in Memphis. What was that, 74, 75? See, my memory's gone blank at the moment because I'm thinking about it so much. Normally I'd be able to tell you like that, but anyway, so that's interesting, and this is absolutely stunning, and the sound quality on it, oh yeah. I haven't even cleaned it yet or anything. I don't think I'm going to keep this exactly as it is. Yeah, that's Moody Blue. Now you can get a reissue of this. They did it on, I think it was 180 gram vinyl. I think they did it for the 40th or 50th anniversary or something like that. I'm not sure if it was Friday Music or Record Store Day or something like that. I think FTD bought one out as well. I can't be sure on that, so I don't really follow the FTD vinyls. Or any other vinyls come to that, because I'm focused mainly on just the original first pressing of the UK. But anyway, that is an American Moody Blue. Okay, now this is one I had originally. I'll always like this one, and despite the ink issues, again, what I like about this is the sticker on it. This is Elvis in concert, and again, I'm going to ask this, pop it in the comments. Now it does have some ink issues by here, where something's been tipped or it's been laid against something. But why that doesn't bother me. What I love about this is this year, as seen on TV, containing My Way. Now this sticker is quite unique. I haven't seen any other version of this album with that sticker on. Pop in the comments if you have this specific sticker on your copy of Elvis in concert. I have seen different releases and different albums, even including UK editions, with different stickers on, some including the price, some including you know, containing songs, etc. But I've seen them many times. I have never seen another version with this particular sticker on. So do you have this version in your collection? pop a comment down below and let me know. Maybe give me some background history on it. I'd be very interested, because stuff like this really intrigues me because it's different, and if it's something I've never seen before, I'm always interested in learning about it. So I would really love to know a little bit more about this particular sticker, this particular hype sticker, from a collector's point of view, and also as well still from a fan's point of view. So, and it's the UK album, UK pressing. Okay. So yeah, let me know in the comment section. Awesome pictures there. Okay. And then we come to He Walks Beside Me. Great gospel compilation album. And then we have the 56 Sessions, Volume 1. That's the other thing as well I love about this website that I found. All the orders, the albums are all in order, how they got released, and the dates and so forth. So this is the 56 Sessions, Volume 1. Now, I'm only interested mainly in the first pressings from 1956 to 1977 till he sadly passed. So up until Elvis in Concert is where I'm, even though he was sadly passed when Elvis in Concert was released, I'm still, anything else after that as first pressings for me is a bonus. But pre Elvis's passing is where the first pressings, is what I'm collecting. Like I said, anything else afterwards is a bonus. So I'm only saying that now because I realise obviously Elvis the 56 Sessions. I'm pretty sure this is a first pressing. I'll have to check the website beyond that because I haven't checked the site. I would have checked them up to Elvis in Concert. So that label there. So, like I said, compilations and so forth. I'm being very, very picky on compilation albums and different things. They have to have some sort of meaning to me. When I had my dad's collection, after Elvis sadly passed, again, there were a lot of compilations he had. He didn't have everything that came out, but he had everything between 1956 and Elvis in Concert, and all first pressings. Now, I'm not going to get that, which is why, like I said, I'm just bothered about. I'm just bothered and focusing on the essential albums, compilations, Camden releases, and so forth. They're here and there, do you know what I mean? I'm not too 100% bothered about first pressings of those as long as I have them in my collection, which is why I'm not bothered about the Burning Love and Hits from His Movies Volume 2 being a Dynaflux, with the cover being obviously UK and the record being US. So, but it's just the essential albums. And I know I've repeated myself, I don't know how many times, I am so sorry about that. Okay, so that's Elvis, the 56 Sessions, Volume 1. And then we come to the Elvis Presley Collection, Volume 2. Again, this is like the first one, they just like have reissues type thing put into a double album. And you've got Separate Ways would be record 1, and then record 2 would be Easy Come Easy Go, I think. Does it actually tell me what albums, I wonder? No, it doesn't. Okay, well, there we go. Now, I did have this, I did have the black vinyl of this, but I got rid of that and I just kept this one here. This is Elvis, 40 greatest again, like the one I showed you earlier on with his, like the 40 behind him and a picture of him from the 50s in the front. This is on special pink vinyl. This is a special pink pressing. This is a pretty cool cover. I'm gonna drop this, open this up without. Now this came out also in a black pressing as well. Where it says special pink pressing here, it actually says Presley in green. And I'm sure on my last video I did show you the black one, but got rid of that now. As you've probably been able to tell from most of what I've showed you, I've gotten rid of quite a lot of. Let's get the first one out here. It's really cool to have. I like it a lot. I do. I've shown you the one side, I'll show you the other side. Pretty cool, huh? And then we have a Legendary Performer Volume 3. Now this is a picture disc version. This is one I got sent to me, funny enough, by Rossi. This is one of the ones Rossi sent to me a couple of years ago. Obviously, it's the back here is missing. But what's cool about a Legendary Performer Volume 3 is that it came out not only as a standard black vinyl, but as a picture disc. That's side 2 there, and obviously that's side 1. Now, I do have this volume on its way to me as we speak. Only it's not the picture disc version, it's the standard black version. I just thought it would be pretty, it's pretty cool to have, if there's more than one variation, and I don't mean like loads, I know there's loads of variations of the albums, but if there's like, for instance, like the Fool album I showed you, or like the Elvis Presley Boulevard album I showed you, same thing with this. This got released as a picture disc, it's also got released as a black vinyl standard, which is on its way to me to have with the collection, so perfect. And then we've got Please Don't Stop Loving Me. Now, the reason why I'm not gone into a lot of the history behind each album is because there are other fantastic channels out there who actually does go into detail about the actual releases and the albums themselves. I'm gonna drop a link. I'll have to do what I'll have to do, because there's so many of them, and I watch so many people that have helped me and influenced me, and I've taken a lot of information from as well. I'm gonna have to do a video, and it'll be specifically for recommendations of channels to watch and subscribe to, because of the information they give out. There is simply too many for me to list and name. But no, I say there's loads. There's not loads, but there's a nice selection of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a YouTube video, and it'll be a short one, because I don't know if I'll show anything on it, or whether it'll just be a channel for recommendations of channels, and I will tell you what the channels are, and in the description I'll put links to each channel for you to check out and hopefully subscribe to. Because at the end of the day, we're all collectors. No matter how we do our videos, we all share one main thing in common, and that's the love for Elvis Presley. And when you've got that one thing in common, however you do your videos, doesn't really matter. That's the main focus on videos, is showing the love that you have for Elvis. So this one then came out. This is the Elvis collection, Vol 3. Like the others, the other two I showed you. It's a double one with like 2 albums in. Like reissues type thing, but I think they're a cool collection to have, so they're pretty cool. And then we have Our Memories of Elvis. This is volume 1. Now, when this officially got released on CD, volumes 1 and 2 was put on, on one disc, and there was a third one that was scheduled to be released, so I gather, but it never got released. However, when FTD bought their set out, they did bring out the third version, the third volume in their set. Next is Elvis, A Canadian Truth. This is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Please don't stop loving me. Oh. I hated my songs from in my head. Awesome to have. Okay, and then we have the 56 Sessions, Volume 2. I love that label. I think it's pretty cool. And then we have Our Memories of Elvis, Volume 2. More of the pure Elvis sounds. Advertising, Volume 1 there. And then we have a special collector's edition of Elvis, Scotty and Bill, the First Year. This is the Golden Editions Limited. And it was distributed by Virgin Records. Now there are bootlegs of this going around, so be careful. But this is an official version. It's pretty awesome. I like it a lot. Now in here you've got, it's a gatefolded double line, you've got the booklet in here. Cool booklet. And this has got some pretty cool photos in it as well. Whoop, oh, we've got something in here as well. Which came with it. Something to do with the booking. Okay, I got like a letter here. It's reproduction of something. It's not something I put in, it came with it. Okay, that's pretty cool. Alright, contract of something, agreement or whatever. Okay, so it's got obviously pictures on the inside of the book here. It's got some pretty cool photographs. Advertisements for Elvis's shows. And that is a really cool photo. I like that. Elvis, Scotty and Bill. At the time when it was just Elvis, Scotty and Bill, they were known as Elvis Presley and the Blue Moon Boys. That's a nice one. I've just Scotty and Bill. Oh, okay, right. That's that picture there of Elvis. But this year, this is actually in the book. It's the same as this. Obviously, shrunken a bit. Do you know something, right? That shows how much attention I pay. And for me to say that, I feel shameful, to be honest with you. I'm going to try and... Obviously, that's being made to fit in the book on our page, but it's this here. And like I said, I didn't add this came with it, so that's pretty cool. If you've got this album, do you have both that in the book and the actual reproduction here? That's pretty cool. I like that. So that's why it's in there. So that's why I'll keep it in that page. But that's, I'll cover it together. That's pretty cool. So it's Elvis, Scotty and Bill, the first year. I'll show you the vinyl. Now there are ones that it doesn't state about Virgin Records or anything, and they're the bootlegs. That's the official one, which is pretty awesome. I like that. And yes, I have done my checks thoroughly, because I was pretty baffled by it myself when I first got it. Then we have The King. Now, this album is pretty cool because during Aloha from Hawaii, the satellite concert, well, after the satellite concert finished, he went back onto the stage to record 5 songs that would be used in the broadcast version, re-edited, and basically put as music videos, if you want to call it. Maybe you want to class them as some of the first music videos by Elvis. And they were pretty cool. You re-recorded Blue Hawaii, Early Morning Rain, Hawaiian Wedding Song, Kuku Ipo, and No More. And it was the first time for all 5 of the re-recordings of those songs to be put out is on this album, which is the Aloha versions. Obviously, what I don't get is they released the alternate Aloha, and they put a song on there from those sessions. Why? I mean, the alternate Aloha is the rehearsal. Elvis didn't even do those recordings until after the satellite show. I mean, it doesn't make sense. The same thing with the CD release, which I did speak about in my Aloha video, so I won't really go into that on here, but that's a pretty cool album. I do love this cover. I think that's a pretty cool cover. And it was the first time for all 5 of them to be put out on an album. Okay, then we have Elvis Presley sings Libra and Stoller. This is on the RCA International. Now, if I'm correct, that's actually a first pressing. I believe that that's how they put that one out. One of my other favourite compilation gospel albums here is Elvis Inspirations. On the K-Tel label. It's a pretty cool label. And then we've got Guitar Man. This is the album where all the remixes were done by Felton Jarvis. There are a lot of people who don't like these remixes and this album. I actually love this album, and I love the remixes as well. They're better than what some of the bootleggers have done, and some of the unofficial ones. I think these are pretty cool. I love the version of Guitar Man with what I say on the end of it. I do have that on CD as well, and they also brought it out on FTD with some other versions, and there's another release as well with more tracks. Okay, so another one on the K-Tel label is Elvis, The Ultimate Performance. No, performances. Performance. I love this cover. I think that, again, this is another awesome cover. Okay, here's another compilation again. Sorry, let's get back to this Ultimate Performances a minute. This is a compilation, a live compilation album with songs from 1969, 1972, 1973, basically all mixed up and put into one to make one sort of like concert, if you want to call it. So this one then, next one is Elvis at His Best. This is a double album. Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool cover. Double album, although it's not gatefold. They've got 2 albums and 2 paper sleeves, or 2 records, sorry, and 2 paper sleeves. And that's on the black RCA label. Where was this one from? Well, this was in England. This was in the UK. It's pretty cool. And then we have It Won't Seem Like Christmas Without You. So I put K on the front of that envelope there. Never mind, just call it ink rubber. Obviously, this is a reissue. This came out in 1983. I think most things from that period of time anyway had barcodes on, what have you. Which is pretty cool. And then we have, on the 50th anniversary, we have A Legendary Performer Volume 4. Now, I am going to keep a lookout, and I'm going to get this as well, because I'm sure this had a booklet too. I am going to take a look out and keep a lookout for it. This is on the black RCA label, which is the German one, I believe. Yeah, made in Germany. So, it's the German one. Pretty cool. And then we have Elvis, I Can Help, and other great hits. Black label there. And then we have Rare Elvis. This is the first volume, 50th anniversary. Black label there, which is German. And then we have Essential Elvis, or Elvis Presley Essential. Original soundtrack recording featuring original and alternate versions from Love Me Tender, Jailhouse Rock, and Loving You. Essential Elvis Presley. This is actually a pretty cool album. Hope this is coming across okay. I don't have the other volumes. This is the first volume. I'll say black label there. If I see them at good prices as time goes by, yeah, sure, I'll pick them up. But the first one. This one I really, really like, and I'm glad I got it in my collection. This is Presley, the all-time greatest hits. There's the gatefold. I've always loved that picture with all showing all the Elvis artifacts and memorabilia and stuff. It's on the black German label again. And then we have the Great Performances Elvis, including first ever recording My Happiness, and that was the first time that that recording got put out. There was a lot of people questioning, funny enough, about when Elvis was saying in the 60 comeback special about his first record, and I've been asked many times about that. Why did Elvis say in the 60 comeback his first record was That's Alright Mama, when it was My Happiness? And I'm like, well, think about it logically. You know, you only need common sense to really fully know that. I mean, My Happiness never got released until after Elvis' passing, and it was on the Great Performances in 1990. And it does state on it that it's the first time for My Happiness to be released and put out. It also came out as a single as well to promote the Great Performances. So it was a private recording that Elvis had done for his mum, so it wouldn't have been put out there before Elvis had passed it unless he said he wanted it put out. And in fact, it was transferred from the original master vinyl that Elvis took home to his mum, which is why you'll still hear the crackles on it. But it's great to have. So that's why Elvis says That's Alright Mama was the first record he did, because that was the first one released. Now I end my Elvis collection basically with albums in covers with that one there. But right after it, I do put this album here. This is the soundtrack for Elvis the movie. Now, I know I've said it in many videos, but as it's a story about my vinyl, I'll tell you again. Or I'll explain again, should I say, rather. Didn't mean for that to sound like that then. Basically, a lot of people think it was Kurt Russell that was doing all the singing in the movie. However, it was not Kurt Russell doing the singing. All vocals was done by Ronnie McDowell, country music, an American country music legend, who I'm actually proud to call a friend of mine. I do a lot regarding Ronnie's Ronnie McDowell Radio. I'm the admin with Chris McDaniel. Chris McDaniel got me involved with everything, who I'm truly grateful for. Regarding running one of the official. Let's get my words out. Running one of two official Facebook groups for Ronnie, and I help out with the radio station, Ronnie McDowell Radio online, and I help a lot when it comes to sort of like designing artwork and so forth. And there were, I feel like, early albums that was not out there and so forth that I helped Chris with and so forth, doing the designing and everything else like that. So I do a lot of work. I produced a DVD that is available to buy as well, which I transferred from an original videotape, remastered, put bonus stuff on it, what have you, replicated the cover and stuff like that. I do a lot of work when it comes to Ronnie McDowell, so yeah, really proud of that. So that's the soundtrack. One thing I never really got about this soundtrack, on here you've got the concert medley, and in the concert medley is Shake, Rattle and Roll. Now, Shake, Rattle and Roll is not in the movie. However, there are songs in the movie that's not on the album, such as Tutti Frutti. And what I decided to do, I'm sure it was last year or the year before, I actually took Tutti Frutti and all the other unreleased recordings that were in the movie that's not on the album, made a medley out of the gospel songs and also the Good Rockin' Tonight with two others. I made two medleys, and I remastered them all. I took every track from here and remastered all of those. And what I also did is the concert medley at the end as well. Took all of those directly, remastered everything, and I put a CD together put the soundtrack album together. I took out Shake, Rattle and Roll because it's not in the movie, so why is it on the soundtrack? I hate things like that. It's a little, I know it may seem a little petty, but it's just a pet hate of mine. And it bugged me forever, you know. So I redid the whole album as I think it should have been done, and included the songs that were missing from the album, and redone it all. Put the concert medley together at the end of the album like it should have been done. And there's more full songs on there now. There's a full versions of like A Fool Such As I. In here, it's in the concert medley part, but on the one that I did, it's the full version of the song, along with Lordy Miss Claudie as well. Did it as I think it should have been done, and I sent it to Chris and I said, you know, do you think that Ronnie would like this? And it was that successful. The cover was produced by Chris McDaniel, and it was put out on CD, and it was the very first CD was presented to Ronnie on his birthday, and I that was a really proud moment for me. I really felt overwhelmed, especially, you know, Ronnie was, you know, enjoying and respecting and really liking the work that I do for him and so forth. That was a very overwhelming moment for me. And then all of a sudden, Ronnie had the first CD that was done of it for his birthday, and I think it was a couple of days or a week or so afterwards, Chris actually put it on the Facebook group, tagged me in the post, stating that, you know, the work that I had done and everything. And again, that was a pretty awesome moment. So thank you, Chris, for that, and also thank you to Ronnie as well. So yeah, that's basically the other bit of the story of Elvis the Movie, the soundtrack album. By the way, the soundtrack album that I was just talking about, the version that I put together, it is still available from Ronnie's website, www.ronniemcdowell.com. It's available as a CD or a download. Okay, so that is basically where my Elvis collection in covers practically finishes. But I do have a special item here. I'm going to start with, now, this record was never kept in my original collection. When I was young, there was a lot going on, both inside of school and outside of school and everything else. And I'm not going to go into that, but what I am going to say is that my mother took me to Caerphilly and asked me to pick any vinyl that I wanted. And on the wall, there was all these different records, and I picked this one. And this never really went in with my main Elvis collection. I always kept it like sort of private and out of there, like a keepsake type thing, because it was very special and very sentimental to me. This is the only original vinyl that I have owned since I was a little kid. Since my birthday, since my mother got me. This is the original vinyl. Now I can't play it, you can see a line right there. Now that's not a groove, that's actually a scratch. And I'm not sure how well it will show up, but this record is marked and scratched. I'm going to see if I can pick anything up. I don't think I can, apart from that mark. There's some blemishes there. You can see, maybe it's because of the colour of the vinyl, I don't know. But yes, I can't play this now. If I put this on the turntable, it'll start off going, well, since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell. And it's like that, basically. It'll jump because I played it and played it and played it and wore it out. But that doesn't change the fact of how sentimental this is to me, and it will always be kept with me. Now, it is now part of my Elvis collection at the very end, because I know that my collection is safe. And I keep it in a plastic sleeve with, I got a few of these in here, a few different ones. I kind of collect these. paper sleeves with Elvis' albums on, so I think they're really cool. So I keep this in there, and on the other side of this, that's the picture that came with Elvis Country. Don't have the vinyl yet, but I do know I'll have it soon, and I'll put the picture in with it because I'm having a first UK pressing of it, so I'll put that in with it. Also on the other side, I keep this one here. This is a picture disc of pictures of Elvis. Another picture disc that I've got. So I put those together. Now, another friend of mine, I actually went into detail and put the full story up regarding that vinyl picture disc up on a Facebook group. Not so long back actually. And it could, because it holds a story. I put it up because that, you know, the story holds relevance for this because it's because of what it means to me. And I received a package. I knew I was, you know, getting some DVDs through regarding Shaky and what have you, but I never knew what else was going to be in there. It came as a total shock, surprise, and I just remember sitting on the bed reading the note, just in shock really. But a friend of mine sent me a replacement of the record that I picked, that my mother got me, because I can't play that now, but he sent me a replacement of that album so that I could play it if I wanted to, and I did, funny enough. Played it when I had it. It was quite emotional actually, because when it's on the turntable and you see it going around and you're listening to it, you know, it took me back to the first time I'd listened to it, when I first, you know, when my mother first got it for me and I listened to it. So now obviously when I was a kid, what I didn't know was at the top it says a tribute to Elvis. Tribute to Elvis, side 1, and then obviously side 2. But what I also got sent with this picture disc is this one, a tribute to Elvis, and it says side 3, and then on this side it says side 4. Obviously I didn't have this one with it when I was a kid because I only picked the one. So that's a bonus. And I can't thank Adam. I'm going to mention his name. His name is Adam, and he knows who he is, and I'd like to thank him so much. I do know that there is someone else involved with this as well, who I also thank. So to the other person involved who knows who he is as well, thank you so much. And basically that concludes my video of my Elvis vinyl collection from here on in. Yeah, I think that's going to be the title. My Elvis vinyl collection, and in brackets, from here on in. I like the way that sounds, because technically that's what it's going to be. I'm not going to get rid of anything now. I'm just going to keep collecting, adding. So yeah, I think that's the title for this video. To everybody who's watched, thank you all so much, and I truly appreciate everyone tuning in. From now on, this is the way this channel is going to be. It's going to be me showing my collection. I do have some bits and pieces to upload, some documentaries and so forth, but I'm only going to do them as I did do a video regarding copyrights here on YouTube, and I'm only going to upload things if YouTube tells me that there's no issues. If it's something that I've like done the mastering on, or if I've transferred it myself and I've edited or so forth, yeah, there will be a watermark stating, probably just stating my name, CJ's Den YouTube channel. So if it is re-downloaded and re-uploaded without, you know, having the decency to be asked, free promotion then, isn't it? So, but there we go. My next video now will be next Thursday. Yeah, will be next Thursday, and hopefully by then I will have. I should have some more vinyl to show you. So it'll probably be, I don't know, Elvis new buys, new vinyl, Elvis new vinyl. I'm not sure what I'll call it, but it'll be showing you some of the other vinyls that I've collected and I bought. So happy days, and thank you all so much. Take care of yourselves, and keep well and keep safe, and I will see you soon. No, I can't see you, but you can see me. Alright, so you'll see me soon. Take care, everybody.